Creation Nation.
It seems like it would need to be, to even have a certain amount of proper congruence that isn't insulting to itself or to the human spirit or to facts or something. It would need to be kind of in that divine direction. And so when people are making this kind of luciferic art and crazy modern art and all these sorts of things, they're just representing forms of decay. They're not representing forms of birth. So it seems like that would, to me, explain why. I mean, like, two of the most, three, let's see, I'll just bring up Harry Potter, Star Wars, and Lord of the Rings. All of them they weren't written by atheists. Like J.K. Rowling, even though I think, she's a little confused on certain things. Actually, not on the things you think. She's perfectly right about the things you think. But I mean, I don't know. She seems pretty reasonable. I mean, even with, like, she doesn't endorse witchcraft. She just thinks it's a fun thing to have in a story, and she talked about it and things like that. She thinks
definitely kudos for standing up to the trans mob, at least.
Yeah,
that's always a good thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And
like, J.K. Rowling has a certain level of that internal coherency. You know what I'm saying about things, where she doesn't just react negatively to the world. It's like there's a productive element to her overall vibe, it seems. That's sort of, she's for women's rights, and then that means certain things, and then anyway, that's a different topic completely.
So she has a coherent worldview. It's not just like it's not just like a lot of people on the left today who kind of go with the kind of the flow of the culture and change their beliefs every 5 years.
Yeah, where it's like completely subject to the whims of the whatever's going on up in their noggin. But
the whims of the Twitter mob.
Yeah. And also George Lucas, he's not like a traditional religious person or anything, but he's very interested in, the truth, I guess. Like he's a searcher. I'm pretty sure he's a searcher.
Yeah.
And then Tolkien is like religious, obviously. And so I think there's a reason why, these people are the ones who come out with the and C.S. Lewis is another one. Although I'm not really a big fan of C.S. Lewis's work.
What?
I haven't read his. I'm not familiar much with his nonfiction. I'm just familiar with like the Chronicles of Narnia. I'm not even that familiar with that, but I don't really like the Chronicles of Narnia because I don't like low fantasy. But that's more. Except I like Harry Potter. So.
Low fantasy?
No, low fantasy is.
Low fantasy, but...
Well, no, low fantasy is a technical term. It means it's connected to the real world in a direct way.
Oh, really? I thought it had to do with the amount of effort put into the backstory.
No. No. And Harry Potter is low fantasy as well. That's why I said, I like Harry Potter. So, yeah. Low fantasy just means it has a direct connection to the contemporary world.
Huh. Did not know that.
Yeah. So I think that means Chronicles of Narnia is low fantasy. Harry Potter's low fantasy. The Warrior Cats that are low fantasy.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings is high fantasy because in Star Wars is high fantasy. So I think that's the main difference.
Wait, didn't Star Wars take place in our universe though a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away?
Yeah, I guess. However, I think for practicality's sake, it would count as high fantasy because technically Middle Earth is supposed to be our world too, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, I was about to say, some mythic past.
But I think it's distanced to the point where there's no practical connection, so
I guess it'd be practically a different world.
And at the end of the day, these are just definitions, so they don't really. It's kind of like, is Star Wars sci-fi or space fantasy?
Oh yeah, I hate that. It's like it has science fiction elements, but
Yeah.
Star Wars did more for science fiction than. Well, people would argue, no, it didn't. It made it all fantasy. But yeah, that would be a good question. Ooh, we should totally watch some of Alfonso Brescia's Italian sci-fi.
And we could do episodes.
Oh, is
on
that
it,
what
yeah.
you were like remixing to make a new video out of?
Yeah.
What's
It's
that?
so
Yeah, how'd
bad.
that go?
I had to put it away because I got busy at work, but I still want to do it.
Nuts. Hey, if you finish it,
I mean, I had it all planned out.
we'll do a we maybe in the future, in an idealistic future where we do live streams, we can watch it live with a bunch of people.
That'd be cool. Yeah, I mean, it'd be a baby. I'd love to really try and get it off the ground.
Wait, what's good about the Italian sci-fi? I do remember that the Italo pop music genre was highly inspired by like sci-fi things. So I'm guessing Italy had some sort of sci-fi explosion at some point. I don't know.
Yeah, they did. Well, Italy, I don't know why, but they seem to chase the trends which are going on in the United States. So like westerns, spaghetti westerns, westerns become big over here, they become big over there. I don't know if one inspired the other, but they both certainly popped up, around the same time, seemingly. With science fiction, there was a director called Alfonso Brescia, who after Star Wars decided he was going to release a slew of science fiction films to capitalize upon Star Wars' success. His films are nothing like Star Wars. So I wouldn't classify them as rip-offs. I would say they're just more trying to capitalize on Star Wars. They're more like the science fiction you see coming out in like the late 50s, early 60s.
Oh.
To me, I enjoy them, number one, because they're in the public domain. So you can do whatever you want with them. And then number two, they're just fun. They're just kind of goofy, lighthearted, fair, cheap. You can kind of see the humans behind the effects and all, what little effects there are. But if you wanted something that's a higher production value, I'd recommend Star Crash.
Oh, you mentioned Star Crash.
Which is fantastic. You should watch it. It is so much fun. I think, who was the composer? John Barry? Was it John Barry? He did the music for it, and it is fantastic. Christopher Plummer's in it. David Hasselhoff is in it.
David Hasselhoff.
Carolyn Monroe is in it. It's just got a lot of fun, goofy actors and really colorful, really positive. It's not a downer by any stretch. So yeah. So no, they're just fun. Fun, lighthearted fare.
Star Crash. I'm gonna need to look that up. I am not familiar with it at all. I'm gonna go to Piggy real quick.
We should totally do, and I would like to do it where we could do a video because it's in the public. Well, it may not be in the public domain, but where we not react but critique parts of it. I think that'd be cool, or appreciate parts.
Okay, I wonder if this is something I've seen before. Wait a minute. Oh yes, I've seen I saw some sort of video review about this where they're making fun of it.
Oh, really? Hey, it's great.
Oh, it's a girl in a bikini.
I do.
Or something.
That's Carolyn Monroe.
Ah, yeah.
Does this movie have
Star Wars meets Barbarella?
Oh dear.
That isn't Barbarella. I can't remember if I've seen Barbarella. I saw one of those. No, I read the comic for Barbarella, and it wasn't very good. So, because it was a comic, it was a French comic first, and then it became a movie starring, what's her name, Fonda? But yeah, comic not good. A beautiful art. Nonsensical story.